Good morning, Christ Little Rock Chapel. I've brought a special friend with me. It's Hannah. She's going to play some bass with us today, so get ready. This is one that fits exactly with what we were doing. I should have looked ahead because we definitely did this song last week, but I know you guys love it, so sing along with us, sing loud. I want to hear you from my house or from the chapel today. It's called Waymaker. Sing with us. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. God, I worship you. Oh, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Touching every heart, I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart, I worship you, yeah, I worship you, Lord. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, even when I don't see it, you're moving. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never sing it with us. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. You are waymaker, miracle worker, Our God is the miracle worker, the King of Kings, the light in the darkness, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Give us 1 second. We're going to sing another song that talks about that light in the darkness. So this next one's called Marvelous Light, and it has some action. So we're watching you. I didn't know if you guys know, but cameras work both ways. I see you. I see you. So we want to make sure that you guys are doing the actions with this. The biggest one is lift your hands and spin around. Now, we don't have action people this week, but we want you to lift your hands and spin around. See the light that I have found. What a wonderful light. What is it? The marvelous light. That's the name of the song. Oh, the marvelous light, marvelous light. Go ahead and sing with us. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. It's a marvelous light I'm running. Out of darkness, out of shame. By the cross you are the truth. You are the life. You are the way. I once was fatherless. I once was fatherless. A stranger with no hope. A kindness waking me from my sleep. Your love, it beckons deeply. A call to come and die. By grace now I will come. Take this life. Take your life. Sin has lost its power. Death has lost its sting. From the grave you've risen victoriously. It's a marvelous light I'm running. Out of darkness, out of shame. By the cross you are the truth. You are the light. You are the way. My dead heart now is beating. My dead heart now is beating. My deepest stains now clean. Your breath fills up my lungs. Now I'm free. Now I'm free. My dead heart now is beating. My deepest stains now clean. Your breath fills up my lungs. Now I'm free. Now I'm free. Sin has lost its power. Death has lost its sting. From the grave you've risen victorious. It's a marvelous light. It's a marvelous light I'm running. Out of darkness, out of shame. By the cross you are the truth. You are the light. You are the way. Lift my hands. Lift my hands and spin around. See the light that I have found. Oh, the marvelous light. Marvelous light. Sing it again. Lift those hands. Lift my hands and spin around. See the light that I have found. Oh, the marvelous light. Marvelous light. It's a marvelous light. It's a marvelous light I'm running. Out of darkness, out of shame. By the cross you are the truth. You are the light. You are the way. Amen. Stay tuned for the chapel message. Good morning, friends. Well, if you're looking around, I'm on my back porch outside, and it's not exactly morning. I waited till this evening to record tonight's or today's
chapel message because A, we've never had an evening chapel message ever recorded that I know of, so this is kind of cool. And B, it really hits on the points that I want to tell you guys about today. So stay tuned. There's a couple of experiments that we have for you guys today. So this is going to be a little bit more of a hands-on chapel message than what we can normally get. So I want you guys to stick around for that chapel message experiment, or two experiments actually. So we're still talking about Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, that says this: "In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." What I talked about on Monday, if you guys got to tune in, I started and I was in a pitch black room, and I just started, and all you could do was hear me. You couldn't even see me. I bet some of you even wondered if your computer was frozen or something like that until you heard my voice. Well, the idea of that was to watch how light, when it's shared with others, multiplies. We used the lighter, and it turned into lighting one candle, and then it turned into lighting multiple candles. And by the end of the message, you could see that it wasn't just darkness in there. But in fact, the light pushed out the darkness and allowed us to see what was really happening in that room. Today, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper, and I want to talk about the first part, and how that can be a stumbling block for us. So it says this. It says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others." And just like that, some of us are disengaged. Why? Because when it says, "Let your light shine before others," we dismiss ourselves because we don't think that we have a light that is worth sharing. What I mean by that is, when we look at our lives, we think, we are not good enough. We haven't done the right things. I didn't help any old ladies cross the street. When we look at ourselves, we only see some of the negative stuff. That's a bummer. That's a big bummer. Because the light that we have is actually not from us, and not necessarily from the deeds that we do, but it comes from one place only, from Jesus. So in that first couple of words, "Let your light shine before others," this is one of the coolest, greatest missions of all, and we miss out on it because we lose perspective. We think that for some reason we have to be bright enough or good enough to shine. And honestly, when we look at our lives, I can see some of you, I can picture some of you thinking this, because I was your teacher for the better part of a school year. You could think, I don't really have a light. My light's barely flickering. I'm barely good enough to go and spread. And that's just not true. So what we're going to do is in a moment, I'm going to ask you guys to pause the video. So get ready. Not yet, but in a moment, I'll ask you to pause the video. Before you do, I want to explain what the experiment is. So the experiment for this morning, and it might have to wait until this evening, until it's dark, kind of like this moment, for you guys to really get the full effect of it. So try it now, and if it doesn't work right, then try it again later. But what I want you guys to do is go into the darkest room of your house. If you have a room that doesn't have windows, maybe a bigger closet or something like that, go into that room with the lights fully on, okay? The light's fully on, but keep your hand on the light switch. If your closets are like mine, then keep your hand on the pull string above your head, okay? Or have your mom and dad help you if you're one of the smaller ones, you can't quite reach the pull string. Go in there and focus on one thing. Pick one item, okay? It could even be the brightest item in the room. I want you to focus on that item with the lights on, and then poof, turn the lights off. See what happens. Ready? Pause the video. Now, go. You're still here? Pause the video, I said. Okay, so you paused the video. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened in my experience. I went into the darkest room in my house. I turned off the light, and I was staring at the outer rim of a mirror, and it happened to be white. It was really bright. I figured I could catch this. I could keep this. But as soon as I turned out those lights, boom, pitch black for about 3 seconds. If we're being honest, it's those 3 seconds that some of us judge ourselves by. Now let me explain. When we shut the lights off, there's no light around, and that's how we view ourselves. When we look at ourselves, we think, oh, there's nothing to be seen here. There's no light to be seen here. There's nothing that's even worth going out and sharing. What good deeds do I have that could glorify the Father in heaven? But then what happened? Then what happened? After the lights were off in my situation, hopefully it worked for you guys. If not, try it again tonight. What happened in my situation was my eyes started to adjust to the darkness. I could start to see the thing that I focused on the outer edge of that mirror. And then once I could see that, I could start to see everything else in the room. And instead of it just being darkness, there was more light. So, you have something to shine. The problem is you don't see yourself. You don't look at yourself as closely as God does. You don't view yourself the way that God does. When God looks at you, he's just like you did when you look at the mirror or whatever you find in your dark room. He stares at it with intent. He looks at you with intent and says, you are bright, you are brilliant, you are beautiful. You might think that you're lost in darkness, but you're not lost to me. I see you. Somebody's peeling out over there. I see you. I have another experiment for you guys that we can pause the video for here in a second. And this one has to do with photography. So if you're a photography nerd, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So Elizabeth, you already know, and some of you other older kids know what I'm talking about when it comes to photography, all of you iPhone gurus out there. But if you're younger and you haven't tried this before, I want you guys to go and borrow your parents' phone. Or once we're done with this video, or once you pause this video, switch over to the camera on whatever device you're looking at, whether it's a phone, iPad, even a computer. Maybe a computer won't work, but definitely an iPhone, iPad, Samsung phone, something like that. I want you to go to the camera app and point the camera at something where you can see the camera, you can see the screen, and I want you to click around on that screen. I want you to find the darkest thing on that screen. When you find the darkest thing on that screen and you click it, you'll notice that the darkness actually makes the brightness brighter, the lightness lighter. This is a term we like to use in photography called exposure, right? Your iPhone is just super smart and it does it all for you, and it just says, oh, you want to look at this dark thing? Let me adjust it so that you can see it. Let me focus your eyes so that you can see brilliantly how good and how cool this thing is. No matter how dark you think it is, iPhone's going to brighten it up. Also, if you click on an iPhone, that little yellow square that pops up, there's a little sunshine right next to it. If you click and slide that sunshine up, see, boom, immediately brighter. And it's not because of anything that I did, but it's because of the word exposure. It's about how long and how wide the camera is able to look at me and focus on me. But if we only look at ourselves for a couple of moments, then our eyes don't get the opportunity to adjust. Our camera exposure is going to be, it's called a shutter speed, right? If the camera lens closes really quick, it's going to be really dark because not enough light is let in. You can't actually see what's going on. And you'll end up looking like this. So you see what I'm saying? I know that there's a couple of experiments, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys stay engaged. But we need to look at ourselves with a lot more hope, with a lot more focus. Because guys, when we can really look at ourselves and see ourselves for who we really are, you are genuinely good. You are genuinely light. I promise you. So many people see that in your lives. God sees that in you. That's why we hear it straight from His Word. He doesn't say, if you have light, let it shine. It says, let your light shine. There's no doubt about it that you have light and is meant to be shared and shown to the world. Not because you're great or glorious, not because you're fantastic, but because God sees the true light in you. So guys, it's not about going and making good deeds. No, this verse, what I want you guys to hear out of this verse today is that you have it. Don't dismiss it. Don't just write it off because you don't think this Bible verse is talking about you, because you don't see the light that's inside of you as brightly as others can see it in you, as brightly as God sees it in you. You have it. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good deeds, so that they can see your light, and then glorify our Father in heaven. Would you guys pray with me? Heavenly Father, when we look at ourselves, sometimes we are way, way too down on ourselves. But what we don't realize is that you have sent us a gift in Jesus that is something that makes our lives and our lights shine forever. So God, help us to see that every single time we look at ourselves in the mirror, every single time we start getting down on ourselves, every single time we think that we're not good enough, every time we think that this Bible verse is talking about somebody else. God, I pray that when we hear stuff like this, we realize that you're speaking to us. And we need to take that, and we can take that as a mission, to take the good news of our light and the source of our light to the ends of the earth. We love you, God. And we thank you for this family, even though we're separated right now, for this family, and how we can lean on you together in tough and trying and sometimes dark times. Our light. Help us to live for your glory. And all God's children said, amen. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I will see you later. And don't forget, this week is Good Friday and Easter services, right? Big times in the church. We want you guys to not miss it. If your churches, your home churches are struggling to keep up with the times, I understand it's tough times. We've been blessed with the opportunity to have like live streaming stuff at our church. And if you can't make it because of all this COVID stuff, please tell your parents. Parents, if you're listening, join in with us. We are your family. We love you guys, and we want you guys to have a place to go or a place to worship, even if it's online. So this weekend, this Good Friday, this Easter, tune in to Christ Little Rock via Facebook or through our website, through our YouTube channel, and we'll make sure that you guys get our streaming stuff. We love you guys. Have a blessed evening. I guess I'm saying evening because it's dark outside. Have a blessed rest of your Wednesday, and catch you on the flip side. Woo!